Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm
Good morning.
Polly. This
Hi,
is Patty.
Polly. I'm Patty. Hello.
Hi, Patty. Nice
Hello.
to see you. This morning's webinar is a very intro style webinar, and we thought it's about time for us to run a session like that. We will be focusing on ways of how you would implement Streamtime in your agency. And this webinar is for everyone who is looking for a new tool or has an account with us already. Can be a free account, can be a recently paid account, that's cool. And you're looking for advice from us on how can you implement Streamtime in the most painless way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we often hear when people are looking to migrate towards Streamtime is, I don't have the time to do this, or, I'm so busy at the moment, it's not a good time, or, it's so hard to move a team of 15 people from one system to another. And so what we want to do today is go through and show you how easy that process can actually be in Streamtime. We want to take you through some of the setup, and it's only going to take a couple of minutes to get everything in a position where it's ready to be used by a team of, say, 20 people. The other thing we want to talk through as well is how easy it is to onboard your team, regardless of how many people there is, to actually get in and get some useful data into Streamtime. And the most important thing there is time tracking. So we want to make sure everyone's aware of how easy that is. Understanding as well which areas of Streamtime different team members are going to need them based on their roles and responsibilities in the business. So those are a couple of areas that we want to touch on.
Exactly. And it's also, obviously, you're bringing in the new tool into your team. So you're already here in Streamtime, having that free account, but understanding the reason why have you signed up into Streamtime, understanding what benefit Streamtime will bring to your team and how can you benefit from it as well. So obviously communicating that to the team, and we work with many teams that migrate from other tools, and it can be something small, such as my current tool doesn't update ever, so it doesn't listen to us. So that's frustrating, and I understand that. Maybe your team doesn't track time, and timesheets is a bit of a pain for you and the team. So there's
it's a common one that we find.
So time tracking in Streamtime done differently and easily. So we're going to show you that a bit later. And maybe you're looking at for a tool that has everything, so you want to consolidate your workflow and stay in one tool and use that accounting software package and Streamtime at the same time, so it saves you time.
I had a meeting the other day with someone who was like, okay, we use a spreadsheet to do this, we use another tool to manage our timelines, and then we use another tool to track time and another tool to help quote an invoice on top of the spreadsheets and the 3 other tools they were using. And when we took a look at Streamtime, they realized that, hang on a second, we can do that all in one place now. And that was very exciting. So consolidating that workflow, as you said, is a big one. We often find too, seeing the job through from end to end and making sure that all of those different parts of the project, which are essentially mutually informing and equally as important, are all actually linked together from the very start, which is
exactly
how Streamtime handles things.
And there's no judgment here as well, because we understand that you've come across Streamtime. That's awesome. It's already a win. So if you were coming from 5 different tools or 5 different spreadsheets, that's also cool. We're here to help you set things up and show you how can you do that in a very painless way, and how obviously Streamtime can benefit your business overall. Totally. So it's about time you use Streamtime. Oh my God, I just came up with that. One more thing before we start is we've got some good news to share.
Very exciting news that we all discovered this morning. So there's this little thing in our industry called the Webby Awards. You might have heard of it.
Yeah.
I might have heard of them.
Pretty big.
So the Webby Awards are, and I think they're American-based, but essentially Streamtime's been nominated as a nominee, obviously, for the Webby Awards this year, which we discovered this morning, in websites, web services, and applications. This is a huge achievement for us. And as a Webby nominee, your work's actually singled out as one of the 5 best in the world in its category and among the top 10% of all work entered. So we're pretty chuffed to have been recognized amongst some incredible other web services and applications. To even get to that point of a nomination is a massive achievement in itself. Obviously, to win a Webby Award is kind of like insane. So, segue. The only way to win is through a voting process, and so we would really appreciate it if anybody on this webinar this morning could please vote for us as a Webby. I see Andy has just dropped the link for the voting page into our chat, which is awesome.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, Bruce, for your kind words there. Thanks, Andy, for dropping that link in, and thanks, Webby Awards, for nominating us. Super exciting time to be part of Streamtime. And congratulations.
Thank you, Patty. Congratulations, everyone.
To everyone here at Streamtime, just because we work really hard together as a team to kind of, across all areas of the company, to get to points like this. And it's really awesome to see that work pay off in something like a Webby Award nomination. So just a little shout out to Streamtime team for making that.
Should we start the webinar, or should we just keep going and talking about our achievements? I would love that.
Let's call the jets and let's get the show on the road, shall we? Okay.
All right. Awesome.
So what are we going to be doing today, Paul?
Okay, so we are going to cover the setup process in Streamtime, and hopefully you will understand how easy it is actually set things up and start using Streamtime from day one. So first area that we are going to look at is your profile and settings area. So you can, a little trick there, if you click on your company name
at the top,
shortcut. You go straight away to your profile and settings.
One more time. Shortcut.
One more time. Bam.
Bang.
Okay.
Skip on that.
Awesome. So we recommend to start with your company settings.
Yep.
That's where you would add in all your information about the company, the address, and everything that will go into your quotes and invoices. ABN, for example. Company address is the free text field. You can add in all this information that will then appear on all your future quotes and invoices. You can then set up your job numbering system as well. Let's do it. It's best to do it straight away. When you start with Streamtime, you still don't know, or maybe you want to take your all job numbers from the previous system. So it's so easy. You can just go into and click auto assign job numbers and start with the last number that you've used in the old system.
Totally. And maybe you don't use job numbers. That's also fine. Maybe you use job numbers and client codes. This is also fine. You have options here. But as a new user in Streamtime who wants to get on using things as normal and create the next job that's just coming through your business, start here, get things set up from the get-go, and that's going to be putting you on the right track.
Yep, cool. Integrations is another way for you to get organized and set up your account integration, for example.
Yep.
If you are using Xero, QuickBooks, or MYOB, MYOB online version, the account right version, you can set it up here. What it does, it takes you to Xero account. You're going to just have to log in at your login details, and then it talks to Streamtime, and then you are all set up and ready to go.
You're all good to go. And it's really easy to set that up as well. You'll need to be at least on a standard plus plan there to get taken through to Xero, but it's just a single click and logging in there to make that happen. When you do that, Streamtime's going to see all of the revenue and account codes that exist in Xero. And here you'll be able to get things set up at a default level. But if you do have a rate card with a whole bunch of different services on it, you'll be able to set that up too and assign different revenue and expense accounts to those individual services and expenses. For example, you've got an Uber, you want to set that to a travel expense account. And this is another great thing to do when you're setting up, still in that profile and settings area, because these will be the things, these are kind of like the bones that we'll build our jobs with.
It's gonna, if you don't set it up properly, it may lead to inconsistent reporting, and that's the pain in the ass. That's not really going to have. So let's just save your time and spend time here, add those items and expenses in advance. And then when it comes to creating those jobs, those items and the rates will be already there.
Totally. And it's really quick and easy to get this going. Depending on how many different services you have, obviously there'll be different things to add, but it's super easy. All you need to do to create an item is give it a name, a description if you want,
Mhm.
and an hourly rate that you can set for that one too. Now, at this point, you can see this 0 has been disconnected at the moment, but if we were connected, we'd be able to apply different revenue and expense accounts
Yep.
here. And the same thing goes for expenses. So maybe I have an Uber, and that changes cost and sell price each time, but I can at least set that up with the right codes to push through directly when I add it to a job. So I can save that one so it's ready to go.
Yeah. So just Alan, just our developer,
Yeah.
he sent a message. Oh, 0 is currently out, which happens sometimes. So hopefully it's going to be fixed. So don't stress.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very
Yeah.
often.
It's a shame 0 couldn't time that better for our webinar, but that's all
Seriously.
right. That's all right.
Disappointment. All right, let's move on. Team is important.
Yeah.
A team will help you complete those jobs. So set them up correctly is also very important. So
Exactly.
you go in your
A good point to make is that there are a few different areas in Streamtime where you can add team members, and that's because we want to make it as easy as possible to get people in and running right away. But like you were saying, the proper way to set people up is here in the Your Team area.
Yep. So invite your team members in, and you can okay. So let's invite someone, for example.
Cool.
So it can be Andy Wright.
He's already in there. He's already in there.
Damn.
I'm not in here, so maybe let's go. Honey Morgan.
Yeah, you can add the email address, the cost rate, and sell rate. Extremely important to add that in. That's where you will be charging your jobs correctly, and then actually understanding the profitability of your jobs with those cost rates. So with cost rates, it's important to calculate them correctly. And what we recommend to add a bit of profit in there, just in case, hopefully it doesn't happen, just in case your jobs don't go as planned. So you can still make some profit there. Adding team wages, individual wages into the cost rates too, as well as the overheads. So overheads can be any expenses that you use for, to work. Can be office expenses, anything like that, your electricity, any fees that.
Really, any cost that is allowing the business to currently run needs to be bundled in there.
Exactly. Divide them by number of employees, and that's going to be your individual overhead. So those consist of your team cost rates.
Exactly. And you can save and send that one, and then they'll be invited directly to Streamtime so they can get working.
Yeah, restricting the access as well. It's from the beginning. It's a good habit to have. Depends on what roles they are. What are they? Designers? Are they maybe they're accountants? So what is important to them? So I guess designers. If I was a designer somewhere, I would just want to see what I need to work on. My to-do screen, it's enough for me, and understanding what needs to be done when. So that's good. I don't need to see any of the cost rates, any of the even jobs. Do I need to even go into job plan and have a look what's there? I don't need to create any quotes or invoices. So I'm happy with the to-do screen.
Totally. Time tracking is the most important one.
Exactly.
And so if you do have different roles, people in different parts of the business who need access to different areas. And so to make it clear what areas of Streamtime these people need access to, like you said, creatives, anyone who needs to track time needs a to-do screen. And by default, everyone kind of needs access to that screen. It's the one area of Streamtime that everyone needs access to, but where you further allow people into the system is entirely at your discretion. Traffic managers, for example, probably just need access to the schedule as well so that they can see what everyone's doing. They can plan out work for the team. That's essential. What about account and project managers? Bob?
Yeah, accountant, I would have just jobs and access to jobs, schedule, and project management, obviously, schedule and jobs.
Yep.
And accountant, I would just have access to jobs. And obviously, your access to jobs means you've got access to your priorities as well. So that's where you can track your invoices to be paid and track your payments there easier. Cool. And who else? Managing directors, the big bosses. What do they need to see?
So people who are in charge of running the business and are interested in mainly the numbers that are coming through. I mean, let's be real. They'll probably have access to most areas here when it comes to the setup and just being able to access all areas of Streamtime, but the area they'll be most interested in will be the jobs area. It's where all the reporting takes place, and it's probably where they'll spend 99% of their time, I imagine.
That's it.
So
And maybe account settings if they need to.
I'm sure they'll probably need access to there as well. If they've signed up for Streamtime, they'll probably have it.
Yeah.
But how about we jump into the to-do screen? So thinking about the area that everyone in the team will need access to and making sure that they're aware of how this is working.
Yeah.
We can run through this really quickly, but also just come to terms with how easy this screen is to use and how much sense it just makes.
So your to-do screen, I guess it's your plan for the week. So you've got your availability listed there as well. So this is something that we didn't mention. Available hours that you're working. Maybe you're working half day on Wednesdays, for example. So when when it comes to scheduling tasks, your project manager can then only schedule 3 hours for the day today. But it depends on the individual. But your to-do screen is the way where you can get organized and track time and plan ahead, I guess. So on your screen, you've got nothing at the moment. So that's just an example. But we've got our items on the side. Those are the tasks that needs to be done. They are all organized by the due date of that item, that task. So all you have to do is just to drag that item into the day that you want to start working on. Let's work on concept. You can resize those tasks. And once it's completed, you drag it into done, and time has been tracked against that job.
So the principle is really easy there. Essentially, what we've got are these boxes, and these are just tasks, and they're linked to jobs, which, they're linked, to items on jobs. So within here, it's really easy for me to tell everybody where I'm spending time. And like Polly said, I can see what I'm already assigned to work on the right-hand side. You'll only see the things that you're assigned to work on there. So it's nice and clean and focused if you want it to be.
Exactly. You can create a quick task as well from the screen that doesn't have, or you don't see on your items side panel.
No, I was going to say, how about as a new user in Streamtime or someone who wants to implement Streamtime at my agency, I want to be able to create a task for a job that I'm currently working on right now and right here. So this job, maybe we've been working on it for a month or two already, but I want to start using Streamtime today to start doing that. Can I create a job from here? Can I create a task for a job that doesn't currently exist in Streamtime from here?
You can create a job and a task straight away from here.
You can do all of the things.
You can do everything.
Okay, so let's create a job. I'm working on AS Colors summer range for next year. So summer range, maybe 2020, let's say. And this is a new company as well. We haven't had the chance to set them up in Streamtime, but it's for AS Colors. So I can set them up as a new company, and maybe this was a client meeting I've got this afternoon. I just want to add it into my to-do list. I expect it'll go for about 2 hours. I can create this task. And what I've just done is create this job as well. You can see I've actually taken the new job number that we set up before in the company settings as well. So instantly, it's a really nice and seamless way to kind of get things going. Now, obviously, we've created this job. I can't assume that there's much information on it, but it's really easy for me to go and set this up.
Yeah, so this is the current job that you've been working on for a while, and you're taking it from your previous tool. So easy way for you to kind of get up to speed on where this job's at is, first of all, add in the budget. So budget comes from the quote that you've created using a different tool. So it's a free text field, say 30 grand. Good.
Not 300.
Adding that budget and even understanding how much time has been spent for that job until this very moment, and adding it as an expense into that job is important. So that will provide you this information, how well you're tracking within the job in Streamtime.
And just to explain what we're going to do right now, is get this job just up to speed with where it currently sits. And what we're interested in is seeing the current status of the job in Streamtime. If you're moving from another tool, there's a good chance that when you leave, or they'll give you an option to take all of your data in a CSV or a similar format. So all of the time entries that you've already got tracked, all of the important data about the job, you'll be able to keep. We don't really want to be able to, or we don't want to drop that back into Streamtime. It's going to pollute the data. and it's going to be really messy. You've already got that. We don't need to recreate it.
Mm.
What we need to do is just have this job showing up to speed. And
That's
a
it.
really nice, easy way of doing this is by just creating an expense, a single expense to add all of the bulk costs to the job so far.
Mhm.
So maybe this is bulk costs imported.
And
for
add that
example.
in the description as well, so you know what it is
Cool.
for the future. So this has been the time and expenses tracked from, say, December last year. for example.
Time and expenses from since December 2018. Cool. And I've added an imported label there if I do want to take a look at all those expenses that I've added and all of that time together, just to make sure they're okay. And that'll serve in reporting down the track. But all we want to do is add a bulk cost rate for how much has all of the time tracked on the job cost us to date, and how much is that work potentially sellable for.
Yep.
So let's say currently we've done about $4,890 worth of work.
To come up with this
It's
number.
a very random number. I just pulled it from the back of my brain. And let's say we're selling this for about $6,500 currently, based on the rates and everything we've got set
That's
up
a
in
good
the other
markup
system.
as well. Very well done.
It's a nice healthy markup. Yeah. Cool. And so what we can do is just save this expense. And at a very high level, this job is going to show up to speed. So we've got this total amount, which is showing us the current running cost of the job versus that budget amount, which is going to be that quote.
Mhm.
Now, another thing we might want to add at this point is an invoice. Let's say we've invoiced a bit up front just to make sure we can get this work underway and we're covering ourselves for it. I can create an invoice, and I might just want to create a blank invoice in this instance.
I was going to say that's the best way here.
Cool. So let's say we created that invoice. So let's just say imported invoice, really simple. Let's say maybe we required $10,000 to get this job up and running. So I'm just going to save that.
Mhm.
Maybe we've already been paid for it.
Yeah,
Cool.
let's record payment.
Record that payment.
Awesome.
You could send it to Xero if you want, but I imagine that invoice is already existing in Xero or similar if you've already got that one sent. So we just want to keep it in Streamtime, mark it as paid. We can see here on the job, $10,000 already invoiced.
Yep.
So some really simple data points there.
Mm.
And the next thing we need to do is actually get working on this.
Exactly. So you can start creating those items. And we assume those items will be already saved in your master list. So that's important. So you can add in your future tasks and start tracking time in Streamtime for that job.
Totally.
So you can be you can stay up to date on where this project is at. So can be maybe we're halfway there. So let's add in final artwork.
Final art, let's just say. And maybe originally we'd budgeted about 100 hours for this. Maybe we've got about 45 hours remaining.
That's it.
What's the rate that we're selling this for? Well, let's say in this instance, it's $180 an hour.
This will be saved in your master items and expenses list.
Exactly.
So it's important.
When you set that up, it's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
And we can save this, and it's super easy. You've already invited the team members, so we can here delegate those.
Can I work on that too, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And this way, you're actually allocating time for your team to work on that. So you can go into and maybe add in a couple of hours for 10 hours for Danielle, Patty, and myself. And then your team, your designers, for example, they will see that on their to-do screens as the items to do, tasks to do. And then it starts from there. They can then drag their tasks into their day, start planning their week, see how much time has been left and who else has been working on this, and start working. How easy is that?
So easy. So, in this instance, we kicked off the final artwork around the 11th of March, and it's probably going to run through till the end of next week. So we've got a big week ahead. And Paulina wants to track some time on this. So what Paulina will do as a new team member in Streamtime, we'll come to her to-do list.
Yep. Plus, I will have to go through onboarding first, understand where everything is, and our onboarding is quite cool. Then I will come to my to-do list and see, all right, so I've got final artwork, and I've got 20 hours scheduled for myself, and then concept development for something else. So then I will be able to just drag it into my day, today, please.
Not tomorrow. Sorry, that was my fault.
And just maybe today I will spend whole day working on it.
Whole day. Well,
yeah.
that's going to be mundane, but enjoy.
Thank you.
So 8 hours of final artwork because you got to get that done.
And maybe I want to write a note as well. Say I'm working on something specific.
Working on floral options, maybe. Cool. And save and log this one. So Paulina's going to track her time, which is great. Now, it's been super easy to get our team into Streamtime to set up a job ready to be worked on, a job that already has existed in Streamtime for a while, and see that Paulina can get going and track time against it instantly.
Exactly. So you can see straight away, if you look up on our burn up graph, that we have track time over here, and that we already have a deadline for this job and what needs to be done. And you have an idea on how well are you tracking as well, looking at the financials as well on the right.
Exactly.
How easy was that? I mean, there's nothing else we can give you more advice, but
we've only got a couple of minutes left. So if there are any questions people have as new users looking to implement Streamtime, feel free to just drop them into that sidebar and we can answer them live on the spot for you. But otherwise, we don't have too much else to show you today. We don't want to overload you with information, but we want to demonstrate how easy it is to kind of get going in Streamtime.
Exactly.
So thanks everyone for tuning in. And if there are no final questions, then we're going to tune out.
There is one question from Bruce Connell. Is the zero integration two-way? Okay. Alan has answered that. No, he hasn't.
Do you want to answer that question, Polly?
So zero integration. All right. So when you set it up in Streamtime, you set up your integration, then Zero talks to Streamtime, bringing those account codes and expense codes into Streamtime. So that there is kind of two-way, I guess. And when you add those items and expenses, you will be able to link them to Zero account codes and expense codes that's been set up somewhere else outside of Streamtime. When you do create an invoice, purchase order, and expense, you can then be able to send those into Zero to store them correctly.
And one final part of that is that when you receive payments in Zero, you can collect that information back into Streamtime as well. So yeah, absolutely, it's two-way. Cool.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's it,
Let's
I guess.
Wrap it.
If you guys have any more questions, just let us know. Send us an email on help@streamtime.net or use that help button in Streamtime to chat to us as well. Hope this was really useful for you. See you next week.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.